Well, it's spring break, everybody, and I am basking in the glow of, well, the light bulbs in my house because we're not allowed to go anywhere. Anyway, I wanted to give all of you guys an update on what's been happening at Highland. We have a big announcement, and I know you are excited to find out the results from the March Madness Final Four Challenge. So, without further ado, let's start with a very exciting and important announcement. Here it is, the Holy Grail, the Highland Hall of Fame. Look at these legends. Courtney Hendricks, J.J. Jessing, Jeff Zernikowski, Drew Crandall, Shaylin Shaw. The list goes on and on. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my quest. So if you don't know, you get your name on the list when you hit a 3/4 shot. Today's my day. I can do this. Here we go. That's right, kids. I'm headed to the Hall of Fame. Mrs. Hobson, mark it up. My name will live in infamy, and not just for these goofy videos. All right, you've been patiently waiting the announcement to find out who won in the March Madness Final Four Challenge. So, here we go. Well, before I start, maybe it's better that we turn this over to the professionals.
Hey everyone, I am Jordan Strack, the sports anchor from WTOL 11. When Mr. Swaggerty told me what you guys are doing, I knew I had to jump in this thing. Welcome to Highland Elementary's March Madness Final Four Challenge. This thing is gonna get exciting. Let's get it started. Alright, let's get this thing started with the kindergarten bracket. Mrs. McDonough's Monkeys, they've got some diaper dandies, baby. They cruise past Martin's Marvels. Mrs. Corn's Kangaroos more than doubled up Fender's Falcons. It was all chalk in the kindergarten bracket. Moving on to the first grade bracket now. Mrs. Mitchell's Mavericks handle the lower-seeded Bobcats from Mrs. Bishop's class. Mrs. Briggs's Bobcats hunted down and preyed on the Musketeers from Mrs. McRill's class. Word is that moms of Briggs's Bobcats have been active on Facebook getting their team organized. Moving on to the second grade bracket now. Mrs. Himes may be getting ready to have a baby, but her Huskies continue to march on, doubling up Mrs. Duvey's Duvenators. Not all of the Duveys are out of the tournament, however, as Mrs. Duvey's Groovies pacified Crandall's Crocodiles. In the third grade division, the higher seeds continue to dominate. Ms. Whitman's Warriors scored early and often beating Miss DeHaan's Dazzlers. Ms. Lichney's Lions' strength of schedule this season was one of the best in the school, and it showed as they knocked off a tough Dannenberger's Dream Team. The fourth grade bracket brought the drama we are all used to seeing in March. First, Schmidt's Shooters did just that, shot their way past the High Flyers from Ms. Frederick's classroom. The Shooters continue to be a juggernaut. Analysts are starting to ask if this group is a dynasty in the making. On the other half of the bracket, that's where things get real interesting. At the end of regulation, Miss Bosatter's Beast and Mrs. Irwin's Infernos were tied, so we had overtime. In order to break the tie, both classes were challenged to do their very best imitation of their teacher. The class with the best imitation would survive and advance. Shout out to these finalists, Keely Kalida as Mrs. Bostatter, Sophia Schwinn as Mrs. Irwin, and Mason Schweitzer as Mrs. Bostatter. Let's check out their impressions now.
Does anybody know where my glasses are? Oh. You guys did super fun duper on your test. I don't think we're going out to recess because it's puddly outside.
I'm Mrs. Irwin, and before we start math class, here's a dojo for you, a dojo for you, a dojo for you, a dojo for you, and more dojos for everybody!
Food. Travel. Like there is no traveling in basketball. Dwayne said no travel in Ohio. Improvise. Improvise. When there is no more toilet paper, we have to improvise. And everybody, for our final bonus word, we will have Quarantine. Hopefully this quarantine won't last much longer.
Those were great, but here is the winning impression. This is Ethan Schultz impersonating Mrs. Irwin.
Good morning, everyone. Don't forget to check in and do the morning work. Everybody, it's time for specials. Line up for gym. Okay, everybody, pick two and deposit, and then get your snack. But today, because you've been working extra hard, we're gonna do 3 jokes instead of the usual one. Joke 1. Why should you never talk to Pi? Because he'll go on and on and on forever. Like me. Okay, joke 2. What do you call a number that never sits still? A Roman numeral. Why should you worry if a math teacher has graph paper? She's probably plotting something.
Congratulations to Ethan and Mrs. Irwin's class. You are advancing to the final round. Finally, in the 5th grade bracket, it was Mrs. Petrie's Panthers in dominating fashion over Newnham's Nittany Lions. And at the buzzer, Mr. Miser's Minions shocked Mrs. Hildebrand's Heroes, advancing to the championship game. All right, it has been an absolutely wild day at the Highland Elementary Final Four Challenge. The final stage is set, so here's what we're going to do. Since you are on spring break, you need to have a little bit of fun. And since this is March Madness, your final challenge is to create your own trick shot video. You can use a basketball, you can use whatever materials or tools you can find around the house. Just don't wreck the house, please. Mom and Dad will be really upset with me. All right, videos are due to Mr. Swaggy by the end of the day on Friday. The class that submits the best combination of trick shots will win. Best of luck, and thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Jordan. Hey, the competition was a lot of fun, but way more important than the competition was we sent over 200 letters to the lakes of Sylvania. So a big thank you to all of you guys for extending a hand of friendship to our neighbors at this tough time. Okay, some of you have been asking, are we going to have any more Beyond the Books challenges once March Madness is over? And we can definitely talk about that. I don't know what big sporting event is coming up next. I don't have a master's degree in sports, but there's got to be something on the calendar. I don't mean in Augusta. I mean in April. There has to be something big. Something where everybody can pitch in and participate, and something where you won't have to have a long drive, in order to be part of the team. So let me do some work, and we'll see what we can come up with. Until then, you guys enjoy your spring break. We wish all the luck in the world to our contestants between now and Friday when you're going to be making your trick shot videos. And I look forward to seeing them, and we'll be back very soon. Have a great spring break, everyone.